What's going on, guys? Murdering here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I got a special one for you. I'm going to be talking about the Great Hall Guide and what you should do to maximize your efficiency. Now, before I get into this video, I do want to say that all of this information is opinion based, and from what I've tested, this is what I found to be the most realistic and appropriate way to approach this. If you don't know, I am the leader of the top clan community in the game. I talk with the best players in the game all of the time. So this is just the information that we have. It is up to you as the player to determine what you think will help you progress the best. The Great Hall, in my opinion, is the greatest power increase as far as player power and overall game enhancement goes. To me, there's nothing else better. The bonuses you see in front of you apply everywhere throughout the game, and they do increase based on your current tier of the arena. Let's get right into what a starting account should focus on. Now, one important thing to talk about is there are some required levels you have to put points into before you even start on this due to the Arbiter mission. All of this information is being taken aside that you've already done that. You've already done the 3 attack for 1 champion, the 1 accuracy, whatever it is for Arbiter. Make sure you get those done. Look for those in the mission. Then after that, this is where you can start really focusing on what do I want to do to give me the best possible chance of succeeding and progressing through content as quickly as possible. Now, since I've done a fair share of streaming and account takeovers, I can tell you that accuracy is the most common thing that I see that people max out first. My opinion, accuracy is the worst thing to max out in the game. Now, this might have been different before glyphs, before 6-star gear, but we have 6-star gear, we have glyphs, so the value of accuracy in the Great Hall has tremendously dropped, and no one's really covered it. So hopefully I'm here today to open your eyes to that, and hopefully you haven't wasted too many medals into the accuracy tree. Now, without just making a blanket statement like that, let me explain to you why. When you're a new player and you're starting, and you get your basic Arbiter things like I was mentioning, which is really easy. I'm pretty sure it's like 4 level 1 points in specific fields. Let's talk about accuracy. When you're early game, your priority is getting a level 60 and starting the grind on making him your farmer, grinding up other 6 stars, getting to Minotaur, mastering your champions, going into dungeons, and then finally moving on to the clan boss. Now, you have to weigh yourself what accuracy does for you. It is very easy to get accuracy on gear, extremely easy, especially with glyphs being available to everyone. Yes, the low level glyphs give you a very low amount of accuracy, but you don't need a lot of accuracy when you're early game to land debuffs. So the fact that people would actually go in 10 out of 10 in accuracy doesn't make a lot of sense to me. End game, however, I understand. As you can see here, I've taken my Force, which is red, and Void, which is purple, to 7. I plan on leaving this to 7, and this is going to be the last thing I upgrade before I completely max out my Great Hall. Outside of Platinum Arena, where some champions do need 600 accuracy to land a debuff against resistance teams, none of this is relevant to me. I can still get away with just wearing an accuracy banner on my champions, and then having accuracy substats and still reach over 300 accuracy. Now, getting back to progressing through, what I would personally recommend is if you are working on accuracy at all, stop at 7. Tier 7 gives you 50 accuracy. That is more than enough to compensate for if you haven't done Spider yet and you don't have a 4 to 5 star banner. That is more than enough to compensate for a banner. My reasoning behind 7 is 7 is a pretty high ramp up as far as how many medals it costs, and I think going any higher than 7 is a complete waste. 7 as it is costs a lot to get there, so it's up to you if you want to choose to go to 7 or if you want to stop at 6. Now, before I start breaking down each segment individually, let me just go over the increases in percentage wise and in raw stat wise for all of the tiers we have in this Great Hall. So for accuracy, it starts 5, 10, 15, 20, then it starts going up by 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So pretty straightforward. 5s and then 10s. Resistance, we have the same exact breakdown, 5, 10, 15, 20. then it goes 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Awesome. Crit damage goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Then it starts jumping by 3 to 15, another 3 to 18, 3 to 21, and then our final tier is 4% crit damage. For the defense tree, we have 2, 3, 4, so those are 1% increases. Then we have a 2% at 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Then we see a 3% jump, 17, and another 3% jump at 20% for defense. The same applies for attack. The same applies for HP. Now, as a new player starting to this game, let's go over what can be the most beneficial to you. If I were restarting right now, the first 10 out of 10 that I would be maximizing is crit damage. The reason why is this. Crit rate is something that it's very easy to obtain as a stat because you can get a glove set which has 40, 50, 60% crit on it on just one piece. That is gigantic because it is the only stat that has a flat cap at 100%. Everything else can go over 100% and you don't lose value on it. You cannot stack 100% HP and you get no value after that. Same thing applies for attack, defense, resistance, accuracy. None of that has a ceiling. Crit rate is the only thing with a ceiling, so it's 100. Now, you don't have to get 100, but if you've watched any videos that I've had on how to gear a farmer, crit rate is the most important thing you can have. So by adding crit damage, on top of it having the highest jump in threshold for 4% from rank 9 to 10, whereas the others are all 3%, this is where I feel like you can get the most out of your Great Hall. Now let's compare this to, let's say, having a rank 10 of any other rank. Usually by the time someone's getting 10 out of a 10, they do have their first level 60 farmer. Now the level 60 farmer, unless you are wailing out, isn't going to have the best gear, isn't going to have the best stats, and also it's very possible that they aren't fully ascended at this point. So let's weigh 80 resistance, 80 accuracy, 20% defense, attack, and HP against a champion who is a 6-star is your farmer. So this is how I want to look at this. Now I have highlighted Padma. She is someone that I have here that isn't ascended and she isn't a legendary, and she can farm. Not as quick as the others, but it's very possible that she can farm. She does have very high multipliers for the damage she does, so let's talk about her and compare the Great Hall usage for your first 10 out of 10. So now if you gave 10 points into health, you'd be increasing Padma's health by 3,000. So now you're getting 3,000 health from your first 10 out of 10 investment into the Great Hall. If you decided to go for the 20% defense route, you would be giving Padma 235 extra defense. As mentioned, if you did go for crit damage, as I recommended, you have enough crit rate, 25% crit damage does increase your damage quite a bit. So there's a lot going for you there. So now you have to weigh what's more important to you. 3,000 health. Take a look at the mobs and how hard they are hitting you if you are struggling with your first farmer. Will 3,000 health make or break you completing the run? The second point is, will 235 defense make or break whether you complete the run quicker? Or will 25% crit damage make or break this fact for you? Now, resistance is a tricky subject as far as what to match first. Usually resistance is more of a total power booster to get into a top clan, or it is for arena to resist debuffs. There is a point to be made that if you are suffering from a stage that puts some nasty debuffs on you, having this resistance could be very helpful to have it not land on you to have further success in going through. I personally do not think that it is worth the RNG, investing so many medals into something that the accuracy still has a chance to punch through. So that's just my opinion on that. Obviously you can take it for what you see. If you want to test it out, throw on some resistance gear, make it equal out to 80, and you can actually test it from there. Same thing goes with accuracy. We mentioned this before. Unless you're progressing through 3-minute runs, being able to place a debuff, not place a debuff, place a stun, not place a stun isn't going to be as beneficial, in my opinion, to you as being able to heal more with more crit damage, survive longer with more health or defense, or boost your attack to put out some little extra raw damage. Now, quickly looking at the attack versus crit damage, early in the game, from what I've tested and seen so far, attack does not boost your damage as much as crit damage does, which is why I don't really consider attack in this argument. Defense has two benefits to it, especially with the defensive base champion. You have takes less damage and amplifies your current damage if skills are based on defense, so that is something else to consider. So with all of this being said, it comes back down to what do you want to do as a player? If I could go back in time after the Arbiter requirements are done, first 10 out of 10 I would focus on would be crit damage. Now, how do you know what to pick? Even though crit damage has the highest benefit to you as a player, how do you know who your farmer is going to be if you are spending money? This is what I recommend. If you're buying shard packs and you're going to be pulling and potentially pulling a new farmer, save all of your medals. Just save them all. Slowly start looking at who my dungeon team is going to be, who my clan boss team is going to be, who my farmer is going to be. And if your farmer overlaps with other affinities, go ahead and pull the trigger and start putting points in. As mentioned before, the increase to benefit as far as the Great Hall goes is very, very low at the start of the game, especially since normal, easy clan boss, all of that accuracy can be obtained simply through an accuracy gear set, very minimal accuracy substats. The fact that we have access to glyphs, the amount that glyphs can give you, can literally add up to enough on their own to help you out for accuracy. So what I would recommend is, until you have a farmer and you're going to 100% full commit to that farmer, don't make a decision as far as placing your Great Hall points in, because you cannot refund this, you cannot change this. Now, we did talk a lot about what to do for a farming champion, but not a lot of people are early game anymore. There are definitely tons of new players coming in. However, let's talk about people who are further progressed than that. Let's see what my view is on the mid to late game and what you should be doing. First thing I want to bring back up is how many medals it takes to increase what rank. So level 7 to 8 is 700 medals and 800 medals. Now that drop off goes from, I believe it's 300 medals to achieve level 6. So this is what I recommend. From an overall point of view, once you max out your first 10 out of 10, start 6 out of 10, all of the beneficial to your current highest population affinity in your roster. Now it is very cheap to upgrade level 1 across the board, so if you do pull a new champion, it's very quick to get your first tier 1 and tier 2 of a certain Great Hall level point. I believe with this knowledge, this will drastically increase the success you have in your account. Maybe you're saving 1,000 medals right now. You're trying to get that last way in accuracy. Hopefully you see this video and you can start spreading your points out more efficiently, and you will see the survivability increase right off the bat for you. Alright guys, I know this is a really touchy subject. I'll say it for the third time. This is definitely my opinion. Let me know what you thought of the video. What have you been doing in the Great Hall? What has worked for you? Is there a conflict between what I was saying and what you found to be 100% helpful? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to find out. Outside of that, as always, thanks a bunch for watching. I know a lot of people wanted this video because they said, I feel like what I'm doing isn't ideal. And as the accuracy point I mentioned, they said accuracy just doesn't seem to have the value for the amount of time I'm spending grinding in all of this. More typically than not, the comments I'm seeing are, I have enough accuracy, so this extra I can actually live without what I have in the Great Hall bonus to make this possible. So once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I really want to know what kind of videos you guys want to see. I do have some options, but I'm always open to hearing more. Don't forget to check out my Discord. Thanks a ton for all the new Patreons. You guys are awesome. I've been doing the account takeovers on stream in case anyone wants to check that out. My stream info is below for Twitch. Until next time, my friends, peace out.